So for today's video, I will be talking about my October wrap up. Now, October was a very surprising month. I'm into like scary, horror, thriller type things. But I really only read 2 books that I said I was gonna read that were part of that Halloween October vibes, which is fine. It's okay. The other 2 books are more of the fall vibe, so I was still within the fall era, or like weather. I don't know. But I actually read more books than I typically do. I read 4 instead of my 3. So let's get into what the books I read. So the first book I read, why did I get rid of that? The first book that I read was Bird Box, which I do plan on doing a book to movie adaptation video. But as you probably know, Bird Box, if you haven't watched the movie or if you haven't read the book, is about like right now, like it's part of this present time, and pretty much this entity is basically, once you see it, then you go mad and then you kill yourself. So people are like in hiding, they're covering their eyes, and it's about the female character Mallory, I believe that's her name, and she at the start of it was pregnant, and then she finds herself in this like group, and then she ends up having her baby, and then we kind of learn about the past, and then we also see her trying to find, she's alone with just the 2 kids, and then she's trying to find a better place for them to be. It's like a post-apocalyptic book. It was really good. I'll kind of just let you wait to hear my final like wrap up, the comparison of the book and the movie. I did watch the movie first, which I know that's like reading suicide. Like, always read the book first. So yeah, so we'll get more into what my thoughts of both are, but just strictly with the book, I did overall like it. It was definitely high pace, easy read. I would give it a 4 stars. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into it because then I'm gonna start putting my opinions based off of also the book and the movie. So yeah, we'll just, next book. The next book I read is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. And this book was a very interesting book. This is the most book I felt was Halloween-y or like just October. It's about the female character. The female character lives in a town where the town is cursed. Like 200 years ago, they killed these 3 girls based off of that they were witches, although they were really after them because they were, I guess, seducing the men of the town. So the wives and the husbands, they all were upset about this, and then they ended up killing them. And then since their death, every summer they came back, they would take the body of a young girl, and then they would kill as many boys as they could possibly kill in the same lake or ocean or whatever that they were murdered in. So the book takes place, the book starts off with a character, now for some reason I can't remember her name at the top of my head, but she is worried about the pending, not witches, but the 3 sisters coming back, and then this mysterious guy comes and yada yada yada. It was definitely a really good book. I just knew I knew the ending, but it definitely switched on me. I wasn't expecting, yeah, I'm just kind of spoil it. I wasn't expecting that the majority of the book was that I was reading in the perspective of one of the sisters that had taken over a body. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. I would give it another 4 stars. So 4 stars. The next book that I actually listened to at the same time, like I started commuting to work via like the metro or the subway or whatever you call it, and I'm not really a big audiobook listener because I kind of just can't focus on the people reading or talking, or the person. But I think I like books that have multiple narrators and maybe have like sound effects and stuff like that, because I decided to pick up because someone on booktube was like, oh, this book was amazing as an audiobook, which it is. I want to listen to it again, and I do want to read it in person, like actually read a physical book, but I don't know, I love the audiobook. And that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That was the most wonderful reads that I've ever had. Like, that book, like the narrators' voices were perfect. Like, even when the trains was like loud, I was still focused on this book. I wanted to go on my breaks and listen to this book. I adored this book. I can't, as an audiobook, I adored it. And so to backtrack, this book is about Evelyn Hugo. I want to say it's inspired by like the Elizabeth Taylor era, and as if let's say she was a famous actress, movie star, superstar, whatever, and pretty much she's telling her story to a journalist who therefore is going to write her biography. And she kind of goes through telling from the beginning of how she started out to all of the husbands who she actually truly loved. And I don't know, it just has so many great like motivational like lessons, and the story was just beautifully written. I want to listen to it again, honestly. Like I'm trying to think of another audiobook I want to listen to, and I'm like, I don't feel like anything is going to be as good as this book. So please give me some suggestions of some audiobooks that were just hands down amazing, because I don't think anything is going to grasp my attention like this book. But yes, and now I need to buy the physical copy, and I need to buy the physical because I don't know why I keep doing this. I listen through my Libby app. But amazing book, hands down recommended. It was just so beautiful, so beautiful, and sad, happy. I don't know what else to say without like really ruining it, but just picture, you know, just that era of when actresses they were trying to become actresses, and how that went about, and also, you know, being in the limelight. It was just amazing. It was an amazing book. Right after I read The Wicked Deep, I picked up Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I'm also doing kind of a book review, and I'm having a little twist to that one. But that book is about a girl named Claudia who comes back from her summer vacation, and she's waiting to see her best friend, and her best friend is not at school the first day. The second day, her best friend's not there. The third day, the week goes by and her best friend has not came to school. She's not even enrolled. Nobody knows where she is. She goes to her friend's mother's house, and they don't seem concerned. So what happened to Monday? Where is Monday? And it kind of goes through her journey. It's definitely a thriller. It gave a twist. Again, I'll be talking about that book very soon with a special guest. But love that book as well. Read that book in like 2 days. I gave it 5 stars. Oh, I gave Evelyn Hugo 5 stars as well. I can't I can't talk much about it, but because I'm going to talk about it a little later. But again, great book. I just kind of hit like a wave of just kind of just reading whatever like brings to my attention. So it's really hard for me to come up with books that I'm gonna be like, I know I'm gonna read this month, but I have a general idea. So to start with, I am currently reading Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. And if you don't know what that's about, it's set around the Civil War era time frame in America, and right at the time when the main character, her name is Jane, is born. She's half white, half black, and slavery is still a thing. And she is born, and then like 2 days after that, then zombies rise up and kill and attack people. So yeah, so it's kind of like through her eyes of being a black female in America, and like how they're training the black people to kill the new zombies. I don't think they call them zombies, but the zombies. So yeah, it just seems really interesting. I like The Walking Dead, Zombieland. I like those movies and shows. So I thought it was an interesting book, and I'm glad it's the main character that's black in that type of book. So yeah, so I'm currently reading that and enjoying it. And I did start Contagious by Jonah Berger. I don't know. I want to say Berger, but it may not be that. But I'm reading this, and this one is Contagious: Why Things Catch On. Just basically about the secret science to explaining why things go viral, why one steak for one restaurant's more popular than another steak at another restaurant, or why one blender is more popular than another blender, or why one YouTuber went famous for doing something and another one did it. It kind of goes into how things catch on in the world. And then I'm also reading The 4-Hour Work Week. Pretty much me trying to pursue YouTube, starting a business, and I'm still working 9 to 5. And then I only have a 4-hour work week. Well, it's not really 4-hour work week, 4-hour work day. But this book is about how he has achieved the 4-hour work week, and then he gets to live the rest of his life. His business basically just takes care of itself. He has other people to outsource, but he basically just goes from how he started to like how he is now. So I'm currently reading both of those like pretty slowly. I don't know if I'll finish them in the month, or I might finish one and might not finish the other, but either way, I'm reading those. I am, as you know, also from my October wrap up, I've gotten into audiobooks, and currently audiobooks for me is just a hit or miss based off of the reader that is reading it to me, the voice. Like, I think because when you're listening, I want it to be a production to really catch my attention. So a lot of the times one narrator isn't enough for me, unless it's that author and they have a strong, powerful voice. Or yeah, so it's kind of hard for me to get into audiobooks, but because of my commute going to and from work now, I have kind of like the time, and like I like that time frame to try to get into an audiobook. So I'm thinking of, well, it's dependent upon when my library gives it to me, to listen to The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'll put it right here. It's basically poems throughout, but somebody recommended it on YouTube and said it was really good, like, to listen to. So I'm gonna give that a try to listen to. So those are books. I'm gonna just go to my Libby app, and what else do I have on here? I also have as an audiobook that I'm gonna try first, which is I guess it's an autobiography by Gabrielle Union. We're going to need more wine. So I'm gonna try to listen to that. She has a good voice. I know her voice. I've seen it in movies and stuff like that, so I feel like I will kind of like listen to her story. Also, for a book that I think I'm gonna do, one of my book to movie, book to TV adaptation video is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. So yes, basically this one, she wrote letters to people that she has loved, and then somehow they were all sent out to those particular people, and then she deals with the aftermath. That's what I know about it. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't read the book. I'm gonna read the book first. I actually have the book. I have 17 days to read it at the time of me filming this video. So I'm gonna give that book a chance probably after Dread Nation. And I am waiting for Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So the 6th book, I haven't finished that. I need to finish that. I am also waiting for Slay by Brittany Morris. Waiting for With the Fire on High by that same author as the Poet X, Elizabeth. I'm not gonna butcher her last name. And so yeah, so kind of whatever leads me to what, then I'll read it. But at the moment, those are my reading. I might also read the first book of this big book that I have here that I'll talk a little bit more about on my book haul video. But this is The Great Book Amber, the complete Amber Chronicles. It's 10 books in here. I might read the first book. It's high fantasy. Interested in getting into an older fantasy book. One of, like, I don't know if it's a classic, but classic. So yeah, so that is my November to be read. We'll kind of see how it takes us, kind of similarly to how October took itself. I thought I was going to read more scarier books, but that didn't happen. So we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for the next video, and I promise consistency.